Hey everybody! So last week I went to Tokyo, actually 2 weeks ago. I went to Tokyo and I just thought that I would kind of blog about it a little bit. So this is actually my third time in Tokyo. The first two times left me completely unimpressed. I do not like Tokyo. Um, there's a lot of reasons to that, but one of the reasons is probably that my first trip to Japan, I went to Osaka. And for people who don't know, the Kansai region, which is Osaka, and the Kanto region, which is Tokyo, um, they have a little bit of a rivalry, let's say. And you kind of hear about that from time to time. So I have Japanese has dialects, and I speak a little bit of Kansai Ben. And people from Kanto will notice, and sometimes they'll just laugh and point it out, but sometimes they'll tell you, oh, I don't like Kansai Ben. Like, why are you speaking Kansai Ben? That's weird. Which put me off a little bit from Kanto. But, yeah, so I went to Tokyo this time, not really expecting much. The biggest reason I went is because I've been really, really homesick, and Alicia she lives in Tokyo, and she's one of my closest friends, and I love her to death. So I specifically bought a plane ticket to Tokyo 3 months ago to spend time with her, and I'm so glad I did. So I only got to go for about 4 days, which in my experience is more than enough time. And the first day I got lost because, of course I did. And I got on the wrong train, because of course I did. And, that was actually even before I got to Tokyo. I decided to take the bus because I bought my plane ticket so early that I couldn't buy a flight from the Kumamoto airport, which is the closest one to me. So I decided to take a bus to Fukuoka instead of parking, because that's cheaper. And I took a bus to the bus station, and then I couldn't find where to buy tickets because it was all under construction. And I spent an hour looking for it before I realized that the place that the bus had dropped me off, literally right across the street from the ticket center, which was kind of embarrassing, but if you know me, that's not a surprise. It's not. And then I got on the wrong bus, and it took me more than 2 hours to get from the airport to my hostel, and it was crazy, but that's traveling with Laura. And then the next day I did Hanami, which is basically a picnic underneath cherry blossom trees. And I went to Yoyogi Park with a bunch of people from Reno. It was really cool because I hadn't seen some of them in 4 or 5 years. And so it was really, really awesome. And we just spent a couple hours enjoying some food and some good company. And the best part about this was Yoyogi Park is pretty famous, and there were hundreds of people, and all of them were sitting on blankets and tarps and jackets underneath all of the cherry blossoms, and everybody was drinking and having a great time, and I'm really glad I got to experience that part of Japanese culture. There were also some guys. Most of them were old, but there was like one young guy, and they were dressed like the 50s. Like that, they had the pompadours and the black t-shirt and the jeans, and it was they were all dancing to the rockabilly music. Oh, it was so amazing. They were all Japanese, every single one of them, but it was still amazing. And there was a crowd watching them, and it was kind of interesting to see how parts of American culture can like just enter a different culture and just kind of stay there, and that was cool. Then Monday I mostly did shopping with Alicia, and we had some amazing Indian food for like $10, and like the naan was as big as our heads. It was huge. And then I met up with who's Hiro Niban. He's one of my friends from Kangaku, from when I studied abroad. So it's been 4 years since I got to see him, and that was really cool. And then Tuesday, I went to Tokyo Disneyland, and Disneyland betrayed me. They really did, guys. I mean, that's not to say that I still don't love them, because I do, and I'll definitely go back because I'm a Disney whore. But I have been waiting. So when I went to my senior trip in high school, we had planned on going to Disneyland in LA from park open to park close. And part of that was I was the senior trip coordinator and I wanted to see the fireworks. Somehow, however, agendas got mixed up and teachers kind of started calling us back an hour before the fireworks. But we were still on the bus when the fireworks went off because not everybody got the memo. So there was this big building in front of the bus and we just kind of saw like little tiny fireworks off the top of the building. And it was just the most depressing moment of my life. Like, I was so sad. So for years, I've been talking about going back to Disneyland to see these stupid fireworks. And then I read online that the Tokyo Happy on High fireworks show was a special 30-year anniversary show for the Tokyo Disneyland. And I was pumped to see it. And I'm not a roller coaster person. I'm a show person. So when I go to amusement parks, it's for the atmosphere, which is strange because, like Alicia pointed out, I hate being around a lot of people, and Disneyland parks in Japan have insane amounts of people. But I really love it. And we watched the Electric Parade at night, which was super cool, so pretty. And then we still had like half an hour before the fireworks started. So Alicia was like, well, let's just go grab a coffee. But the line was taking forever. It was like 9:29 and the fireworks were supposed to start soon. And I was like, Alicia, I really want to see them. And she was like, all right, just go out. Just give me the money and go. So I ran out to the fireworks to a great spot. There was nobody else around. It was an amazing spot. And I'm pumped. And then time clicks. Sorry, not 9:30, 8:30. 8:30 and I was like, oh, here we go. Here we go. And then on the speakers, they made the most depressing announcement, and they said that the fireworks had been canceled. And at this point, I was exhausted. I'd spent all day, and I start like crying. Not like tears, but like, oh my God, I've waited 10 years to see these fireworks, and I don't get to see them. I was so depressed and so sad. We still stayed for the castle show, which was really actually Once Upon a Dream. 10 out of 10. I would watch it again. I almost cried during the Beauty and the Beast scene because it was just the most perfect show you could put on the Disney castle is the ending scene to the Beauty and the Beast. And that's my favorite Disney movie. So I was just, oh, kid in candy shop, like kid in Disneyland. I loved it. And as soon as that was over, see, the sucky thing about that was that there were fireworks in the Once Upon a Dream show. So I don't know why they could do those fireworks 20 minutes after they were supposed to do the Happy on High one. Happiness on High, I think is what it was called. But they could. So as soon as it finished, I turned to Alicia and I was like, is it over? And she was like, yeah. And we just both took off running to the train station to avoid this huge crowd of people. And we avoided some of it, not all of it. And then the last day, Alicia and I did what Alicia and I do, and we grabbed Starbucks. We grabbed coffee and just sat and talked for a couple hours before I had to leave on my plane home. And then trip home was completely uneventful. Like nothing. The only thing that kind of sucked is I got so exhausted that I had to stay the night at an internet cafe, but I had work the next morning. So I had to wake up at 5 to drive 2 hours to work, and I didn't get to go home. So I ended up going home after my trip to to Tokyo. But it was definitely, I'm glad I went. I hated that I hated Tokyo. And now I don't like it, but I don't hate it. And I definitely recommend Tokyo Disneyland on days that they don't cancel the fireworks. But yeah, so that was my trip to Disneyland and Tokyo in general. This means that I have gone to all 3 of the big parks. I've gone to Disney Sea, Disneyland, and Universal Studios Japan. I'm glad I went. I prefer the American versions. But yeah, so that's all for this week. It's another long video. I think I'm going to shoot for 10-minute videos. Sorry, not sorry. All right, until next time. Bye.